There we go. Let's see what's happening. Oh, I think we're alive. We finally did it. All right. You can see some stuff going on in the background there. Woo! Okay. So there is a bit of a delay, but I think that's normal. We should be good to go. I'm just waiting for Demo to confirm everything is good. I don't know what happened. Something's not connected right. Just a little bit off. Our delay is really big. So just hang in there, folks. Waiting for confirmation. Make sure that it's working. Says I have an excellent connection. Waiting for my producer to tell me. Anyway, I guess we'll just keep going. It seems like my delay is really big. So if it seems that way to y'all, you just let me know, and I'm just going to keep going. Oh, got a message coming in. And the message is, I'm waiting. Yep, not sure what happened. Was on the starting screen until I refreshed it. I don't know what's happening. Let's take a look myself. I apologize for the issues with the stream, but let's take a look. YouTube.com. And we'll search out. Oh, look, it says I'm live. Let's take it out. I don't know what's happening. Let's take a look myself. I apologize for the. All right, it does look like it's working, so we're going to go ahead. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but let's get into it. It works, it works. It doesn't, I'll look at the video. If not, just make a video. Anyway, I'm Steve. I'm back. Let's do a check-in. Let's see where everybody's at. I'm here. You're there. We're all here. It's a sunny day where I'm at. The sun's out. We've got, it's a little chilly, but not bad for fall. The trees are changing. As I like to do, is I like to start with an update about me. So let's just get into it, shall we? I had surgery. I got a scar right there. I had stenosis surgery. So what that means is I had to go have an operation to have my discs in my neck. I'm bionic now. Everything changed. So that's a bit of an ordeal. Nothing special there. Many people get that done every day. I needed it. There was no curvature in the old neck. Couldn't move the neck. Now I can do all this stuff. See that? How does that affect my PVCs? I don't know what's happening. I just got a note that it's playing the same damn 30 seconds. Let's take a look, folks. Let's take a look. Is anybody else there? Hey, Jake, if you can hear me, does everything look okay to you, Jake? It just something's a little hinky here. The technology, that kind of thing. I am going to pull up a browser myself again, and I'm going to see where it's at. Let's take a look. YouTube. I think we're fine. Let's see. Steam. Ooh, I'm in the top search there. It doesn't show my live, but let's go there and see what we got. Live. I am live. That is true. YouTube. Okay, so Jake says the audio is kind of low. Audio is low. Okay, so let me fix that a little bit there. Okay, I've improved the audio a little bit, Jake. Thank you for chiming in. I really appreciate that. There is a bit of a delay, folks. Don't know why. Don't know what's happening. Welcome to YouTube. I'm going to slide this over here and pretend like everything's just working great. How about that? All right. So let's get into it. Let's do the update again. Surgery, stenosis, no curve in the neck, had to have 3 discs replaced, get rid of some of the arthritis in there, and that's what's been happening to me. Now, everybody, I get a lot of messages, and how are your PVC, how are things going? Well, interesting. Let's go into it. Let's dig deep for just a second about me. That was a joke because I'm not that narcissistic. PVCs have been relatively good. I have them from time to time. One of the things that I have noticed is that sugar definitely plays a part. Now, let me just say this: I haven't had sugar. I don't have sugar very often. I had it this morning, and it's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, so that definitely has effect. Caffeine definitely has effect, but lately they've just been kind of sporadic. I'll get them, but pain. And I was on benzodiazepines for a while. We've all heard that story from me, and I'm checking stuff out here. All right. And so that creates this weird neurological effect in the body. Now that can impact my PVCs. It does. Is it the cause? No, since I've had them from since my 20s. But I've had them off and on. A little bit of atrial runs here and there, but it's manageable. I'm still doing the same vitamins, the same minerals. I did add B12 because I'm trying to hopefully repair the nerve that goes from my neck down into my hands and fingers, because I had, like, this right here was numb, couldn't feel it, and a lot of pain. That'll make your PVCs go. But so a part of that was too, is also on a lot of medication, right? So that medication was opioids for the pain, which don't work for nerve pain, gabapentin, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories. They were just killing my liver, essentially is what they were trying to do, I think. I hope the audio is still good. I can move the mic up and down here a little bit. Jake says it sounds good. All right. Thank you, Jake. Again, appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate that. So anyway, so that caused some PVCs. Now, the surgery went extremely well. I didn't have any problems. The pain was gone immediately, so that was fantastic. The other part of that too, let's jump back. Let's go backwards in time. I had a stress test with Echo, which I may or may not have talked about on here. And they found what was possible damage to my heart. Did the heart catheterization where they go in and, you know, stick the wire in through your wrist, and they pump dye into the heart and check how it functions, if there's any clogs, any damage. Heart was completely fine. Okay. Internal pressure of the heart, my doctor said, was perfect. All right. So structurally, functionally, my heart is just doing exactly what it's supposed to do. But now we have this electrical problem. We all know that, who suffer from PVCs. We hear this crap all the time. So since then, I've even more let go of the problems of having a heart attack and worrying about death and things like that. But that's taken a lot of time. But I'm getting there. But the PVCs are just kind of off and on at night. We all know sometimes when we lay down, we get them. I get them. But they're there. And they take their toll. We all know that. I'm going to look over here once in a while, just make sure everything's going well. So that's kind of where I'm at. Exercising. Now everybody knows. Well, let's get into this later. Let's get into comments. I want to do that. I love comments, and then we'll talk about diet and things like that, because there's some comments I'd like to make out there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to shrink me because nobody wants to see my giant noggin. Whoop. And let's go to the comments right here. Does that look big enough? Let's make that just a little bigger. Yeah, I like that. How's that looking? Woo. Okay. So here we go. Now I'm going to go back as far as I can. I can't read all of these because I don't keep up on them much. I read them. I read everybody's comments. It's just, you know, we've talked before. There's only, I talk about myself to the point that I'm tired of hearing about myself. So it's great to read comics. Let's get into it, folks. All right. Is that not coming up on the chat? I had a chat window. Please hold. That is apparently gone. Anyway, we'll just do it like that. I think we're good everywhere else. Everybody good? All right. So here we go. Boom, boom. Hellos. Thanks for describing me where I am now. Not bad enough for an ablation. I suspect 5% is nice. No, I'm not alone. You are not alone. Bada bing. Bada boops. Now, something else I've learned about ablations is that they don't always work. I had a doctor recommend ablations, almost took it, but they don't always work. My doctor said it was curative, but it's not. There's no guarantee that an ablation is going to work. And we've read through here that people have a number of them and still have problems. Okay. Paolo Bulgari, 6298. If I get that, I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Steve, been dealing with the AFib and PVCs for 30 years. 2 ablations for AFib and 2 MIs later, and occasionally still going into AFib, but mostly PVCs. Every time I get a Holter, they seem to not show much as I need them to, and doctors say, here we go, they are benign and not to worry. Fat chance. Exactly. I don't smoke, drink alcohol or caffeine, and heart is structurally sound. I find they seem to peak more from poor sleep, illness such as the flu, lower GI issues, and work stress. I tried electrolyte supplements and magnesium, many different types, and keeping a log on what I ate, trying to see some parallels, but little makes sense. Sometime overuse of electrolytes can be worse than low levels. It is impossible to get true intracellular levels of magnesium and potassium measured by any blood draws, and you need to use symptoms to better gauge the levels. I took a sleep lab 10 years ago and now wear a CPAP device, which helps get a better night's sleep, but it's not perfect. I'm on my 17th cardiologist, mostly Japanese doctors, as I live in Japan for work. I am surprised at the amount of ablations conducted in this country. Stress is the uniform of the day. Day here, caffeine, tobacco, and alcohol are part of the food pyramid in Asia. Okay, I'm sorry, there's more. Sorry. I will recommend trying a keto diet and remove sugar and refined carbs. You should avoid going full carnivore diet, as a drop in electrolytes can throw you into AFib or excessive PVCs from the keto flu if you're not supplementing electrolytes prior to starting. Okay, I got to make a note here. Walking or biking enough to get your MHR up well above 120 for many periods a week, but not to the point of overexertion and stress the heart too much. Sometimes when I start getting PVCs, a change in environment helps, like turning off the computer, shut off the TV, go for a walk, drink some coconut water, maybe eat a light, healthy meal can help. I got rid of my car 12 years ago and biked to work, and the routine helps. He's tried the drugs, and make sure you're talking to an electrophysiologist. I'm going to start paraphrasing this one. I've seen a large disparity with the outcomes in seeing the wrong cardiologist. Internal medicine doctors can do more harm than good. Very true. Don't let them put you on benzodiazepines. That's my opinion. That's my experience. Have you looked into the Mayo Clinic? Good luck, brother, and wish you peace and better outcome. Let's start from the bottom up. Mayo Clinic. Contacted the Mayo Clinic about my neck, and they did nothing. I never heard back. I tried. I was interested in it. I felt they would give me a better quality of service than I could get locally, and I never heard back from them. I'm going to give you a bada boom, bada bing, bada boop. So as far as the Mayo, not interested. In this country and in the world, the Cleveland Clinic is the gold standard of cardiac care. Now, you mentioned the keto, and I'm going to save this for the end because I'm going to share my research with everybody on diet. Okay? Some of you ain't gonna like it. Some of you gonna like it. I don't know. Undead Bounty. I'm glad you're undead. Hey Steve, my PVCs have returned more frequently with a vengeance. I can't shake them off even if I take my beta blockers. It definitely feels like something is compressing the heart. They feel squishy, as though something pinches it and stops it from moving for a second, and don't feel like an extra beat. Now see, that's what I experience a lot. That squishiness. Try to use that term with a cardiologist. They're squishy. Last time I used that, they gave me the weird look. I also been fasting more because using exasperates. Oh, because eating exasperates them. I don't know what to do. They really suck. My whole world feels upside down and hopeless. And when they occur more frequently, as it has in the past 2 weeks, I can't read. I just can't. I feel as though I need more cardiac workup, and all those times they told me my heart is fine is nonsense. It feels like. I've been also getting fast heart rate, and minimal excitement exasperates my symptoms, and the PVCs go through the roof. I woke up one day and I had a fast heart rate and a bounding pulse because it felt like something got pushed up in the heart. I had to take 2 beta blockers at once so I could ease the tachycardia with PVCs. I'm so tired of this way of feeling like I'm doomed. I was going to say, brother, you said it all, but I don't know your gender and I'm not going to assume it. So let's just say you nailed it. That's the same shit. This is not for kids, folks. It's the same shit we always hear. It's the same garbage. It's the same crap. It's just bogus bupkis. Okay? It's bupkis. We all know it's bupkis. There has to be a better quality of life. Now, I'm going to share something here that I was going to wait for the end. If you are fasting more, now this is my experience. If you are fasting more than you normally have, in my experience, I'm speaking for me, an accelerated heart rate came from that for me. SVT, right? I got that from not eating enough. So that's something you may want to consult your doctor with or do some research on. I always say consult your doctor because you have to give that disclaimer, but really, what do they do? Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so I'm going to make a note here. All right, so we got Oliver Falco. Hello, Oliver. I had 2 echoes. I do have a normal heart, but the anxiety this shit causes, quality of life fucked. Up now my sleep. How is this benign? Well, it depends on your definition of, I'm going to give you the bada bing, bada boos. It depends on your definition of benign. Okay. Is it benign that your heart is going to stop? That your heart is going to kill you? Well, again, my experience, I've had them since my 20s. I'm 52. I'm still alive. No, it hasn't killed me. Obviously, I'm here. You see my face. But it's malignant to quality of life. But that's not important to doctors. It's get you in, get you out of my face. You get 15 minutes to plead a lifetime of worry, concern, fear, anxiety, depression, dread. You get 15 minutes. If you can find a doctor that'll listen to you for 15 minutes. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Oliver, how are you now? You can look into the first part of the stream here. I'm going to go ahead and bada boop, bada you. How's my quality of life? My quality of life right now is actually pretty good. I feel like I got it managed. I have my moments, but and I know some people say, well, how the hell is therapy going to help this shit? Well, that's my chosen field, and it has helped me immeasurably. So, yes, I think that getting therapy, finding a therapist that can lean into this stuff with you and lean into the trauma of it is very, very, very important. Because what happens is when you start processing the fear, right? And we kind of, I don't want to get too technical here. When we do that, it does change things. It does change the brain. It does change synapses. We can work through this stuff. And as a clinician who's worked with people with severe trauma, and myself sees a therapist for this stuff, we went over this stuff quite a bit. It does help. Because what's the alternative, right? Go to the doctor. You're fine. You're structurally sound. Great. That's the alternative. Pills. That's the alternative. So I'm going to suggest now, I don't do it too much, but speak to somebody that is qualified to handle trauma. Find a therapist who leans in on trauma and will listen to your story, because that helps. It really, really does. It even doesn't have to be a therapist, really. Just find somebody that will listen to you, because that's part of the problem, right? Nobody wants to listen. Spouses sometimes don't understand. Friends don't understand. People we care about don't understand. Who's going to understand? We understand. Those who suffer from it. Now I'm going to look over this way for the chat. Got some chatting going on. Oliver, hey, I'm just talking about you, Oliver. Hello. I'm reading your messages on stream right now. I'm going to comment on some of it. I've already commented on some of it. I'm going to do some more later. And Jake says, just because it ain't immediately life-threatening, don't mean it benign, in my opinion. Absolutely, Jake, 100%. And Oliver says, try Gemini, buy Gemini. My quality of life is not good. I still work full-time. And Oliver says he's scared to go on a trip. Okay, let's take everything Oliver just said in the chat, right? And we're going to apply it to what we're talking about, all right? I'm gonna look back and forth over here because I got to see the chat here. And I saw again. Sorry for the delay. There's a delay here. So let's start with the beginning of it. Try Gemini by Gemini. Try Gemini every third beat. Try by Gemini every 2 beats. I've had all of this, right? This is when things feel like you're really gonna die. You have no control over the internal processes of your body. It's over. That's what you feel like. At least that's what I felt like. So he says his quality of life is not good and he has to work full time. Imagine that. Imagine having like try Gemini by Gemini. And in my case, when I was at work, I had atrial runs, right? On top of PVCs, the by Gemini and stuff like that. Imagine that. Imagine you have to work with this stuff. Maintain your life when your quality is shit, right? And then he says, I'm scared of going on a trip. Okay. This has plagued me before. We were due to go to a trip in New Orleans. Family. Took off on the trip. The SVT and the PVCs were so bad, we had to turn around. We got maybe 30, 40 minutes away from the house, and we had to turn around. That was on me. I got to make that trip up too, by the way. But that was on me. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't manage it. And I'm not a wimp. We're not wimps, folks. We're not weak. We're not somehow deficient. We're very strong people. But like anything, anybody, this will bring you to your knees. This will put you down. And Oliver Awful says he's from Canada. Hello, Canada. Hello, Oliver. Thanks for coming in. Wonderful timing. I just got through reading your comments. But we're going to talk more about diet at the end. So everybody hang on. I have been doing my research. Where are we in? We're about 7:22. Some of mine increase heart rate, then feels like something is squeezing my heart. Yes. That squeeze, that squishiness sometimes. I know that I've never been able... Okay, let me try to explain this the way it was explained to me. I've never really been able to illustrate this. So when the heart... We've always been taught that the heart beats thump, 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 one above the other. But actually it's helical. That it kind of beats like this. This is what I'm learning, okay? So what happens when the PVC fires, and if somebody else knows better, please correct me. Depending on where the PVC fires in the heartbeat determines its intensity. At one point, it'll be a real hard thump in the chest. At other parts, it's going to feel weak. And I think that's the squishy part. I don't know. But I have had PVCs that cause my heart rate to pick up. And I wonder if that's not an immediate sympathetic nervous system activation, right? Because that's fight or flight. Bam. Bad PVC. Instantaneous activation of the sympathetic nervous system. You're in fight or flight. Everything is shifted. Now you're in threat perception. You're in threat response, I should say. That's probably more accurate. So that's kind of my opinion and thoughts on that. All right. So Petrie DeWitt. Hang in there, buddy. I know how you feel. You're not alone. Thank you, sir. Ma'am. I appreciate it. Whichever the case may be. Bada bing, bada boom. One question, Steve. Have these PVCs affected your quality of life? Oh, that's Oliver. Oh, Oliver, this is another one of yours. This is about a month ago. Sorry for getting back so late. Have they affected your quality of life? Yes. Years ago, I've had PVCs. I took an antibiotic by a specific company. It destroyed my stomach, and I was having 20,000 plus of these things a day. 20,000 plus. There's a whole story behind this where I didn't get the ablation and went on flecainide. But until that point, I was on 20,000. I was having 20,000 plus of these things a day. I didn't get off my couch for a year. I tried to get all this stuff. What happened? I couldn't eat. I lost a significant amount of weight, probably 100 pounds. My heart was doing this constantly. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't really work. To go to work was like the scariest thing in the world. To leave the house was scary. So yes, absolutely, yes. They definitely affected my quality of life. So yes, that's all I can say. That's my story. Thanks, sir. Mr. Karsten Nielsen, train body hard. No, sir. I'm going to bada boot and bada bing anyway. That's not the answer for a lot of people. I have heard that since day one. Go out there, be vigorous, train your body. I have had moments where, I'll give you an example. I'm not a weak fella. I used to be a power lifter back in the day, right? So I did train my body hard. Now I'm going to throw some numbers at you just to show you how training your body hard doesn't matter, okay? My squats were in the 500-pound range, right? I could shoulder shrug 600 pounds. That's how strong I was. No drugs, no steroids, none of that good garbage stuff. I trained my body hard, and I still got PVCs. I used to run all the time. And what happened is one day I was in the middle of the street, and my heart started to sound like a wet plastic bag being thrown down a hill. That's what my heart felt like. So that is not the be-all, end-all. I don't want to be controversial or say you're wrong, but for a lot of folks, that is not the answer. I have PVCs when I lift too heavy a weight. When I run too fast, I have PVCs. It's not that easy. And some people will say, well, if you're fat, you get PVCs. Well, I've been really athletic and healthy and had more PVCs than when I'm heavier. So there's not necessarily a correlation to that. So I'm gonna check the chat here. Okay, it looks like chat's kind of got its thing going there. All right. And I'm sorry I'm on such a delay. It would make the chat more effective if I wasn't. So anyway, thank Mr. Karsten Nielsen. I hope I get that right. Next up is Hardip Singh 8823, 1 month ago. My PVC's back again and again. I'm taking beta blockers. My PVCs are back. Please tell me proper treatment. I'm depressed. I'm from India, age 40. Please suggest about treatment. Okay, someone about a bing, bada boop. I can't recommend treatment. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a cardiologist. I'm not an electrophysiologist. The only thing that I can recommend you do is that you go through and read what others have tried, what has worked for other people. Some people it's vitamins. Some people's it's vitamins and diet. Sometimes it's magnesium. Sometimes it's vitamin D. Sometimes it's different types of magnesium. I can't remember the name of it right now. Just things like that. There's plenty of videos out there where I talk about what works for me. It's a very specific vitamin and vitamin D, because at one time my vitamin D was so low it barely registered on the test. Now, improving my vitamin D and adding the vitamins that I take has made a huge difference. So I can't tell you how to fix them, but I can tell you what's worked for me, and that's what's worked for me. Now, I saw something in chat here. Have you tried acupuncture, Steve? I'm going to be really upfront about acupuncture. There is no scientific data that acupuncture does anything, and I'm a science guy. I'm sorry for people that aren't or that really like this stuff. There's a lot of things called the placebo effect, but acupuncture has not been scientifically proved to do anything but give you holes in your body. That's my opinion. So I wish I could say yeah. If you want to calm yourself, look into the polyvagal theory. Look into how to relax the vagus nerve, how to pump that vagal brake. That'll calm the body. Meditation, proven time and time again to calm somebody. Okay? But I'm not into acupuncture. I wish I could say. But if this for you, you do it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you. Ask me my opinion. There you go. You asked me my question. John Loza, it's time for a new heart, bro. No, the heart's all right. We just gotta figure out what's going on. I know it's been 4 years now, but I really hope you're doing better. I see in your eyes that you're tired of it, sir. I started having them like 2 months after getting the vaccine, and let me tell you, I regret it so much. It's changed my life. I love chocolate. Can't eat it anymore. I love drinking a beer or two. Can't anymore. Like cookies and soda. Can't anymore. I've been to 2 cardiologists, nothing. They look at me like I'm crazy and talk to me like I'm stupid. It hurts when the only people that can do something or help you don't. I've been to numerous appointments. Have another one soon. I'm so tired of it. Now I can't sleep because when I'm falling asleep, boom, like a punch in the chest. And if I try to ignore them, they come at me worse. COVID made all this worse. All of you try and not get infected again, and more now that the cases are crazy, but nobody talks about it. Take care, y'all. And sir, thanks for speaking on exactly how I feel. Sending you healing vibes to your heart. Thank you. I like the little band-aid emoji. That's kind of cool. Yeah, COVID's a funny thing. People have gotten PVCs after COVID. Some people have got it with the vaccine. I know I'm going to get doinked if I mention anything about the vaccine because that's a hot button topic. I don't know why, but but anyway, it does happen. It has happened, and I think there are more of us now because of that. So I'm not going to touch on that controversy. I wish I could go more into it, but I hope it gets better for you. I really do, and I hope you stay away from COVID. I really do. They're probably scanning this right now, going to doink me on it. Seeing an electrophysiologist, anyone offer an ICD? No. I have seen many electrophysiologists, and I'm not sure what an implanted cardiac device is going to do for PVCs. I don't know that that's been studied for that. If somebody has some documentation, let me know. I'd love to read that. Someone about a boot, bada bing here. Find a good cardiologist as I did with Baylor Smith and White Health in Plano. Hey, I used to live in Plano, Michelle. I'm going to go Chana, and this team in 4 days sorted me out. We flew here from Oregon. I was a pretty sick fellow, and not one cardiologist in Oregon and Washington can do any except bill my insurance. I went through quite a few over 7 years. I was 100% by Gemini. Holy smokes. Okay, so when people ask, there's the doctor. I mean, it's the internet. Take it for what it's worth. But, you know, Baylor, Smith, and White, Health in Plano. So that may be something people could look into and maybe find as a benefit. All right, gonna take a quick glance at chat. Okay, chat's going well. Glad you guys are chatting. I live in the States, Oliver. I live in the States. The gluten. Gluten's interesting because we all think that there's something food related for each one that's kind of specific. And I'm going to talk about food here in a minute. Hey, just want to know if you guys experience AFib on top of the PVCs. Sometimes mine seem to stem from gastric pressure, PVCs coupled with an AFib. Yes, not so much now. And not AFib, but just atrial runs. If I get a lot of gastric pressure, I'll get PVCs and atrial runs. They're brief, but they're usually brought on by some combination of food. Franco, drummer 1, radio frequency ablation. No, thank you. They're not guaranteed. No, I'm not. They are beneficial. They do work for some people. Some people they don't. For me, no, thank you. I used to want one in the past, but now I do not. User. Wow. How'd you get rid of yours? Well, I don't know that I've gotten rid of them, but they're controlled. And the vitamins and vitamin D, that's what helped me the most. For me, getting that blood test to check my vitamin D levels was so important. So, bada bing, bada boop. Okay, Tops Lawn Care. I almost read that like Tops Applesauce. I don't know why. Any applesauce lovers in the chat? Any applesauce lovers? I do love good applesauce, but it's got a lot of sugar in it. The good stuff. The quality stuff. Let's be honest. The good stuff. Oh, I'm going to bottom. Oh, there's more. Even if you think you're getting sleep, you're probably not. Don't make assumptions. No, I don't wake up multiple times at night, and wife says I don't really snore unless I'm really tired. But you truly need sound REM sleep. This is true. I've had sleep studies done, Tops. I've had 3 sleep studies. I don't have sleep apnea. And I sleep through the night. Unless my cats wake me up. 4 o'clock. Every morning they're at the door wanting breakfast. Nobody brings me breakfast in bed. They don't have my breakfast or lunch waiting. Why not? Kim Last 66. Have you tried magnesium taurate? Try researching that. It does help some people. Best of luck. Bada bing, bada boom. I've tried all magnesiums. Magnesium didn't, of any variety, worked. Magnesium citrate, that's what it was. That one worked for a little bit, but screwed up my stomach. And now I don't take any magnesium. It was vitamin D in my multivitamin, which has magnesium. All right, we're going to, what's our time? What's our time? Where are we at here? 14, almost 15 minutes. Oh, I'm getting tired of the sound of my own voice. Dale Burnett has joined the chat. Hey, Dale, how are you doing? Jake says, I have a mama cat and 7 kittens. Oh my gosh, you got 7 kittens? Good luck to you, sir. Dale, yes, magnesium. See, this is the funny thing about all this stuff. Magnesium works for some folks. It's a huge benefit. For some people, it's a specific type of magnesium. Is it an absorption issue? I don't know. But for me, magnesium, again, worked for a little while and then stopped. So it's interesting. That's why I think maybe it would offer us some sort of benefit if we kept track of what worked for who in a big database. And like, you know, symptomology, magnesium, specific type of magnesium was beneficial. You know, vitamin D, this specific type of vitamin D was beneficial. I don't know if anybody's doing that. Maybe that's something we should look into as a group. Anybody any database creators in chat? Anybody do that? I could do it, but life is just too busy right now. Hi Steven, just who are we talking to here? Paulie. Hey Steven, just want to say I came across your videos while dealing with about a PVCs. That's keeping me up tonight. It's been tough searching for answers online, but seeing so many people going through the same experience somehow brings a little comfort. I actually had PVCs for over 15 years now, and it's frustrating not getting clear answers from doctors despite all the tests showing my heart is fine. I've noticed a possible connection between my PVCs and stomach issues, but my doctors dismiss it. Sound familiar, everybody? Does that sound familiar? I really wish there were straightforward solutions for this. Sometimes the PVCs lay low for months, and then suddenly they come back with a vengeance, making my heart race for hours. Lately, after meals when I'm bloated and belching a lot, the PVCs seem worse. I've been put on metoprolol. God, man, I used to know how to say all this stuff. I think I got brain injury. To help with the racing heart, which seems to have some effect, but the PVCs are still there, especially after certain meals like enchilada dinner. I've been making changes in my diet, incorporating exercise, and taking supplements to see if it helps. Today's been rough, but I'm hopeful that these lifestyle changes will eventually make them disappear for long periods like before. Your story has brought me some peace of mind, knowing I'm not alone in the struggle. Thanks for sharing the experiences with us. It means a lot. Bada bing. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Bada bing. Bada boop. Was the surgery for PVCs? No, the surgery wasn't for PVCs. The surgery was for stenosis. And then I had a heart cath. Heart cath wasn't related to anything. It became the heart. Just want to make sure this is clear so nobody frets out about this stuff. But I had a false positive on exercise with echo, a stress test with echo. So I had that. And then I had the heart cath and everything was perfectly fine. So it was just a false positive. Those were the 2 surgeries. I have PVC, SVT, and PAC for 13 years. I'm 36. Had 6 ablations, but they still go through sometimes. And now most come from the atria. They tell me it's not dangerous. You can get 110 with this. That pisses me off. Really traumatic. Absolutely. 100%, Noli. Because if I call you Noli Grudoff, that's cool. 100%. It's irritating. Oliver again. Oliver, I already answered that question. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just do the last couple here. I'm currently, as we watch, experience PVCs every single heartbeat. I have a cardio machine showing this. I'm going to go to A&E armed with my results, but I know they won't do anything about it. And that's probably the reality, a sad one, and I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I just read Jake. I just read your comment. Yeah, you know, as we do research on psychologists, we do research on human beings and how to heal. One of the things that comes up in the research that's always consistent is the connection to other people. Now, we may not necessarily heal each other, but the fact that we are out there and we know how somebody else feels is very important, which is why I started these videos. I can't really reach out and touch anybody, or I can't meet everybody, but at least it's something, right? You're not alone. That's key. I think that's one of the big steps, is to reach out and find out you're not alone. So very good, Jake. Jake, you're always such a pleasure and a joy. I'm glad you're in the chat. Let's do. All right, let's do 3 more, and then we're going to go into what I wanted to finish talking about. Very true at the end of the video about different communities and needing a positive source of our heart cause anxiety. I was told my cardiologist 2 days ago from months of testing. Sometimes they go away on their own, as if that's that we're waiting for now. Just need my 15 to 20K PVCs to magically fix themselves. Anxiety. Good luck to everyone on the heart health journeys. Keep fighting the good fight, because that's what's the alternative. Rudy in Vegas, thank you so much. Bada bing, bada boon. You said that so well. Light 1999. Can abnormal rhythm like PVs and fluttering for 5 to 10 seconds cause permanent breathing issues? I don't understand why I'm having this echo. My echo and other results came normal, but it's 4-year PV started when I sit up or stand up or lay down. While laying down, I started feeling shortness of breath, but now it became permanent. I got no solution, visited my doc, and I don't think I have any other mental health issues, but most of them thinks it's anxiety and refer me to psychiatrist, but I know it all started after the beats and rhythm. Please guide me. Okay. This is a great one. I'm going to say something that's pretty controversial and probably not going to land well with psychiatrists. If you are referred to a psychiatrist, think about doing that again. Go to a counselor, not a psychiatrist. There is a big difference. We have counselors, licensed clinical social workers. They do about the same thing. There are psychologists, and then there are psychiatrists. Some psychiatrists do talk therapy very well. In my experience, they're rare. Most of them are medication prescribers only. Psychologists, in my world, I don't meet many psychologists. I haven't met one that actually, I've met a couple that actually do therapy. A counselor who's trained very specifically in talk therapy, in trauma, is the person you need to meet. Find that person. When you go online, look for people that are specifically trained in trauma. Not every counselor is trained in this, and it's important to be trained and understand trauma responses, and how those things are created. It's very important. I can't stress that enough. Do I have a bias? Yeah, I got a bias because I am a counselor. I very much have a bias. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Fleck and Night has helped me greatly. Leadfoot. Hope you don't use that all the time. Fleck and Night helped me for a period of time. It really did. But the second time I tried it, I felt like I was having a heart attack. So back and forth, back and forth. Okay, now let's really get controversial here, because I got a message the other day, and we were just talking about keto. Most people who watch this channel know that I'm a vegan. I use vegan vitamins that seem to help me immensely in my PVCs. Whether it's because they're vegan or not, I don't know, but they help me a lot. So I get recommended all the time the high protein, low carb diet. I get recommended keto. I get recommended all those things all the time because I'm vegan. They tell me that veganism isn't healthy, blah, 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 this and that. Now, usually I don't go into this stuff, but I've gotten a couple of messages I've had to delete, and some direct stuff that I'm just kind of going to put the line in the sand here for people that think they know a lot of stuff. Now, earlier when we were talking about keto and stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. That was just a friendly, suggestion, good-hearted, supportive kind of comment. But I've gotten a couple that are pretty directed. and people telling me exactly what would fix the issue. So over this period of time, and even further, I've done a lot of research on diet. And I am not a dietitian. I don't play one on TV. I am not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. Always talk to your dietitian, talk to your doctor. That's the caveat, that's the warning, that's the disclaimer. But now I'm going to get into something a little more controversial. I didn't know this, but there has been so many thousand studies done on diet that it's undeniable at this point. Here we go. Keto doesn't work. It's not a long-term solution. If you look at the long-term results of keto, after about 2 years, things go bad. Cholesterol, which is a measure the severity of disease, right? Arteries and so on, so forth, heart disease and some other things. Also cancer, okay? 2, keto is just the rebirth of Atkins. The Atkins diet, which kind of started, it's all like meat, protein, meat, protein. There were studies done on large groups of people over the years. Just check out the China study. Campbell, I think is the last name, is the author. Any studies like that, there's tons of study. Even the studies done at the Cleveland Clinic by one of their lead cardiologists there. Whole foods, plant-based, is the healthiest way to live when it comes to your heart and disease. And after the research that I've read, the books, it's incontrovertible. I appreciate the keto comments, I do, but there is a link, and please do your own research. Don't listen to me. I'm not an influencer. I'm just sharing my experiences. There's a link between animal protein and cancer, animal protein and heart disease, animal protein and disease in general. It's an uncommon, unpopular opinion because everybody likes meat. I grew up in the Midwest. I worked in pig farms, the whole 9 yards. So it's a revelation. But for those people that tell me that veganism is unhealthy, veganism is causing my PVCs, and that being vegan, well, I'm whole food plant-based at this point, will damage me, are uneducated. I'm not talking to people that think, hey, try keto. That's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But when you tell me de facto that you have an answer, you don't know Butkus, but read the research. So that's for those folks that keep doing that. So that's my kind of like comment on that. I am vegan for ethical and moral reasons. I'm plant-based because of the link between animal protein and cancer, the animal proteins and heart disease. Is this plant-based stuff going to help with the PVCs? Yeah, it seems to sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. So anyway, that's for those folks out there that have all the answers. For all the folks out there that tell me I'm doing this wrong or tell me I need to do something specifically, and they're not very freaking nice about it. That's for them, not you wonderful folks that we have this wonderful conversation with. Anyway, off my soapbox, and that's the end. I apologize for that. All right, folks, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I have finished. I'm glad for those who stopped by and that those who are going to watch the video, I give them my comments and statements. If you're a negative person, don't come around. We're positive people. I will delete your comments. I read a lot of them and they come in. I've had to delete a number because people just are not nice. It's the internet. It's the modern world. We've been civilized to death, right? That's a great book. Read that one. But just if you're negative and you think you have all the answers, go somewhere else. We're exploring. We're trying to figure this stuff out and share what works for us. If it works for me, it may not work for you. If it works for you, it may not work for me, or it may. Combinations of, we don't know yet. So I really appreciate the kind folks, the wonderful folks who share, who are involved in the community. Again, you negative folks, bugger off. Go away. We don't want you here. Leave on. Don't make me get Scottish on you. All right. So I'm going to take a quick look at the chat here before I go. I'm going to glance over here to my right. In a way, it brings comfort to know, okay, my issue is my family and people know that I'm always eating junk food, fast food, and desserts. It's hard for me to stick to any diet. Yes, that's true. Jake, you're just a wonderful, wonderful person to have in chat. You're very insightful and on point, on topic. Can I like that? Is that how you do that? Let me try that. Oh, look at that. I put a little heart bubble in the chat. It is hard. It is hard. I battle it with my whole life, Jake. But when I started reading the research and the connection between like serious disease, I just couldn't do it anymore. I feel better now that I'm talking about me specifically. I feel better now that I don't eat junk food. I mean, I haven't had a Twinkie in like 5 years, man. I haven't had what's something else that I haven't had in forever. Just stuff like that. I can't eat it. Number one, it's not vegan. Number two, it's full of sugar, and it causes stuff. Um, yeah. So Jake, I fully understand and I appreciate where you're coming from. I understand that quite a bit. Struggle. Um, let me go back here. Boo 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 boo. And I'm gonna pull this over. Whoa, way too big, way too big. Move over, move over. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all for me. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate everybody's comments. I wish I could get to them all, but life is just, it's just too big. It's just too big sometimes. But want something, need something, let me know. Send a messages, send comments. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna end the stream now. As soon as I can find the button that says "woo," end the stream. All right. Bye, everybody.